In total, we have, honestly, how many books about McQueen? One at a time then. Danny's here.
Hi.
Gods and Kings is what I consider to be one of the definitive books about fashion, period. It is not a picture book. It is a piece of nonfiction about Alexander McQueen and John Galliano, essentially like their whole career leading up to John's cancellation and Lee's death.
It really humanizes those two men very well, I think. Gods and Kings does a really good job of establishing like a timeline.
The number one way to learn about fashion is through this channel. The second best way is through books. I think this is possibly the newest McQueen book.
I'm unfamiliar with that book. I haven't even looked at it yet.
Really what you get into this for is the photography, because there's like all this like really beautiful stuff about textiles that you get a lot of close-ups that didn't really exist prior to this, unless you've like been to the exhibits where you can actually view these close-up close. They sort of split it up into like themes and sort of talk about those themes. This is the kind of book that I would say is most like spiritually close to what our channel does. Genius of a Generation is one that I haven't actually dug into very much, but it is a little bit more essay emphasis as far as like having like a grand fashion book to look at. It's, you know, it's a soft cover. It's relatively short. If you're getting one, this is probably not it. The World According to Lee McQueen, one of those tiny fashion books of which there seem to be so many. This is, I mean, as a person with a literature degree, this is kind of what I refer to as like a bathroom book. It's incredibly short. It's fun to have. There might be a couple of nuggets in here that I can find useful at some point, but generally, if this is a book you're getting, it should be like the 5th or the 6th one. This is a film that came out. Inferno is a really interesting one because this one only has to do with the Joan of Arc season.
Oh, I didn't realize that. It has the best looking cover.
It does. I love the cover. I love the blurriness of it all.
Me too.
This is another one where it's surprisingly interesting and like really good. There's a lot of photos in here that otherwise you probably wouldn't be able to find. And it just feels much more personal. It kind of brings you down onto the floor with the team trying to get that show ready and out the door and stuff. There's lots of backstage model photography, which for this period is rather rare. Yeah, this is one of the better Lee McQueen books, I would say. Another like monster coffee table book that has like the textured snakeskin on the front.
And that one is just Alexander McQueen.
Yeah, this is Claire Wilcox, Alexander McQueen. At this point, I mean, trying to make a book about Lee McQueen, you have to come in with something that's like really, really valuable or the book is going to get like completely left behind. No one's going to want it. This one is very sketch heavy. There's also a lot of essays in this one. It's kind of crazy. Like Lee McQueen is one of the only ones where you get a lot of essays. Well,
second best looking cover, I think.
Second best looking cover for sure. Yeah. Love looks not with the eyes. Oh, yeah. And in this book, actually, Daniela found, is this it?
Yeah. That is a dress that Matthew Williams designed for Givenchy Fall 23. Fall 23, based off of that McQueen Givenchy dress. There are no pictures of this dress online.
You spent an entire day flipping through all of our McQueen books because you were like, I just feel so strongly that this one's got to be a reference. What tipped you off to the fact that it wasn't?
They talked about it. He talked about it in the show notes. Or they included, but they didn't include the picture. They were like, in digging through the archives, he found this dress that Lee McQueen had designed and felt like he wanted to reinterpret it.
Love Looks Not With the Eyes is a lot more emphasis on photography. It's just a big, beautiful book of pictures. Unseen Alexander McQueen by Robert Farrer. Oh, and then they got an essay by Claire Wilcox, who is the author of a different Lee McQueen book. So this one is set up a little bit like the Catwalk books that we're going to get into a little bit later, where they just kind of go season by season. They write a little contextualizing essay that's about a page at the front of it, and then you get to look through pictures with that essay in mind. It's almost to the point where it's like you kind of have to judge them by their cover almost, where it's like, which one do you want to see more often around your place? And if that is how you're deciding it, there is only one book that you must start with, and that is the one with the lenticular cover.
That is 100% true. That is objectively the best McQueen book.
This is by Andrew Bolton, and the reason, that I would agree with you on that is because Andrew Bolton, who is the curator at the Metropolitan Museum's Costume Institute, he is unbelievably good at writing books.
That is the book for the exhibit, right?
Most people assume this is like the coolest one. It high-key kind of is. So more broadly, in this video, we're going to be talking about all of the different fashion books that we have amassed in our library and kind of give you an idea of which ones are worth investing in and which ones maybe you could skip over. I find that most people don't really understand all of the options that they have as far as fashion books are concerned. So the goal here is to hit on important things like the McQueen books and the Margiela books and stuff, but additionally to sort of help you understand like, hey, this is a type of fashion book that you maybe didn't know existed. Did you own any fashion books before we met?
I gave you one of the first ever fashion books I bought. The Comme des Garçons.
You did?
Yeah.
My, at the time, girlfriend surprised me with this just like incredible book. It's mostly used for Rei Kawakubo to kind of contextualize her work in conversation with other visual artists of her time. A lot of the books that we're going to show here can be found online for very little money secondhand, but I mean, if you have the means, try to support work. If publishers are putting out like great books, they won't do that forever if people don't support them. But if you need to get them secondhand, that's how I have acquired most of this stuff.
Some books have been very graciously given to you, us. I am also a part of that. Those are my books.
A lot of people wanted to know how we actually use this library.
So I guess it sort of depends on what it is that we're working on, but I think that the theory books are kind of invaluable and they're kind of the first stop, I think, for us. Any books that anyone has ever told us are theory-oriented for fashion at all, we have purchased them. Those are the best place to start with anything. The second best place is if we happen to have a topical book for that designer, I guess in some cases collection. For example, we kind of couldn't have made the first ever Schiaparelli video that we made without Fashion and Surrealism, which is on that shelf right there. Very, very crucial to making that video. None of that information was just like Googleable.
The first question that everybody always asks when they see a library that's kind of large, or in this case, a fairly small library that's about a specific topic, usually they want to know like, holy shit, have you read all of these books? And the answer to that is, for every person that has a library, is no, of course not. That would be insane if I had read all of these things cover to cover. Personally, I'm in kind of an ongoing state of reading. I try to read, between like 10 and 15 books a year. And most of them are not fashion books. The books that I am sitting down and actually reading cover to cover are usually books that are helping kind of expand my perspective in different ways.
But you did have a little phase there where you did read every single fashion book possible.
Everyone on Audible, yeah. Gods and Kings, Stitched Up, the anti-capitalist book of fashion. Started on Kingdom of Prep, didn't finish it. A Visible Man by Edward Einefel, Status and Culture, The Beautiful Fall, the Karl Lagerfeld biography, the Anna Wintour biography by Amy Odell, Vivienne Westwood's biography, which I believe Vivienne herself helped out with, House of Nutter, which is about the tailor, the English tailor, Fashion Climbing, which was written by Bill Cunningham, who was the street photographer for the New York Times for years and years and years, and recently got succeeded by Simbaraj Shah, who is a
king. Shout out Simbaraj.
The Gospel According to Coco Chanel is just one of the biographies of Chanel. Grace Coddington's autobiography, Alexandra Schulman's autobiography, Amatura, like you said, The Chiffon Trenches by Andre Leon Talley, Isaac Mizrahi's autobiography, Sneakers by Yuina Kawamura, Fashionopolis. And then right now, the physical book that I'm reading is literally like a textbook for cultural theory. I'm learning how, like, the history of like how humans have thought about and analyzed art. And this has nothing to do with fashion.
Well, that book was really instrumental for me in coming up with a super secret project.
Damn. Okay, this category is just special projects. These are just books that I don't feel like enough people know that they even exist. This is by One Granary. It's called This Is Not About Youth. And it is anonymous quotes from industry figures who actually work in the industry but are talking about the things that bother them. And they blank out their name and then head design at, and then they blank out the brand. It's really cool to find a book where it's like you can just kind of crack it open to a random page, read it, and go, crazy. Okay, another really weird indie project. This is called Archivegasm. It's just a group of people that collect a bunch of like Japanese streetwear and cool archival stuff and just kind of did a photo shoot just sort of showing the stuff that they like that they own. Oh, the laundry book.
Oh my gosh. At Jeeves NY. His work is scientifically based, it seems. Or at least he is running the experiments that it seems like no one else is willing to.
Who does, pray tell, who does the laundry in this household?
You do.
When we met, my laundry routine was
psychotic. Your laundry routine was psychotic. You would hang dry all individual pairs of socks that you owned. Yeah. Socks.
Griff is an independent magazine that releases just very, very, very rarely. And they do a deep dive on a specific brand. The one that we have here is about Mugler. The first one they ever did was about Margiela. These kinds of publications are very special because they are fans who just want to go research the stuff and then like publish their findings and stuff.
This is a book that prominently features legendary historic runway shows in very high quality images. And what's really fun about it is that you kind of get to play this little guessing game with yourself. I love those. My ass loves a guessing game. Hit me with it. That's CCP. That is a Marc Jacobs Louis Vuitton show.
Fabric for Fashion, the swatch book. For us, this is very necessary. It is a book of swatches. So it's like, do you want to know what wool feels like in a basket weave? We've got it right here.
What I think is most interesting about that book, when you open this book, you're like, where is the imagination? Where is the herringbone cashmere? Bitch, like, but when you go to Fashion Week and you're presented with the like absolute height of fabric innovation, and then you come back to this book, you're like, what the fuck is this?
And to me, it is such a crazy reminder of like how much variety is there that we don't even notice in a lot of cases. We also have a collection of Dries Van Noten VHSs, which we got from
Labels, run by Elvis and his mother. Yep. Thank you, guys.
Yep. This category is called Big Brand Special Projects, a magazine curated by. It is one of the best ideas for a fashion magazine ever. What AMAG does is they go find a designer and say, will you curate an entire issue of the magazine? They give them full creative control. In some cases, I believe they were even giving them control over the advertisements inside of the paper.
The Tom Brown zine.
As a creative director moves forward in their career and they have more resources, giving them opportunities like, hey, this is a series of photos that's going to go into a magazine and we're not really going to use it for anything else. What do you feel like doing? That is a place where you get just invaluable information about who that designer is as a person and where they're at in their creative practice right now. Daniela and I made a trip out to the YKK zipper factory a few years ago. So they gave us The Secret Life of Zippers, the manga.
I guess important to note, YKK is a Japanese company. They have manufacturing facilities for their zippers on all continents. And because you nerded out about one of them so much, the CEO of America's YKK was just like, do you want it? Clark's.
You could tell that there is some like book designer, group of graphic designers that just had a fucking field day with this book. In the envelope that says Fragile, this is the Margiela tabloid newspaper. Maison Martin Margiela, all you need to know about the season, autumn-winter 2005. Okay, so as far as books that are about a single designer, this is one of the best books ever made. Iris van Herpen's Runway Collections book literally set a new bar for what couture could possibly be.
Ooh!
This is one that I know you were extremely excited to get in the mail. Bottega Veneta sent us a box of just like cool ephemera.
This is Mathieu Blazy's Bottega Veneta. Notably,
this kind of stuff, this like art project type of thing is something where if houses were expected to do this all the time, I don't think they'd ever get anything done. But special projects like this coming out occasionally to sort of add to the universe of the brand is very cute.
The best part is if you want to show the spine to the camera, it's a little snake. Pull his little tongue down. Push his little tongue down. We bought that from the store.
I think literally this is the cheapest thing at Hermes. It's the Hermes pop-up book. I think this is $30.
Yeah.
As far as pop-up books go, it's pretty simple, but just very beautiful. The Rick Owens books.
Great photography. Just unbelievable photography.
The photography by Danielle Levitt is just incredible in these. I love that he is not trying to constantly put out new books, but that he's just kind of doing them when he feels that they're appropriate and
live, laugh, love Rick.
Dress and Morality. You've been actually reading this. I've only read like one chapter out of it. What is this book about?
It is about how people have always been very afraid of what clothes mean, as long as humans have existed. It's a great way to understand how angry and resistant some people get to the stuff that they sort of see nowadays.
I also kind of want to just have like a little section here where we give like strong recommendations as far as things go.
If we're doing that, then I have to recommend the Chanel Her Intimate World book.
Really?
First and foremost. This book does an incredible job. Primary sources, it's a very impressive effort that was put into making that.
If you want to dive into like the deep realms of runway stuff, this series, I can't say enough good things about it. It's the Catwalk series is incredible. They show you all of the seasons up to a certain point, and for every season they give like 2 or 3 paragraphs of information about that season, what they were thinking. It's essentially show notes. We have, I think, almost every single one. If you are looking for one book that's just like, I just want one fashion book, this is the best summary fashion book that I have ever found for anything. Anything by Andrew Bolton. My single favorite book by Andrew Bolton is Ray Kawakubo, Comme des Garçons, The Art of the In-Between. This book is full of photography that you will get nowhere else, an incredible interview with Ray, some essays, and a lot of quotes that Ray has given about her work, patched onto collections that she wasn't directly discussing, but that the quote is relevant to. I recommend this book all the time to people. It's called Fashionable Selby. And it's literally, they just kind of go to different designers' studios and take a bunch of pictures and include a bunch of the artist's sketches. And mostly this is just a very beautiful way to kind of pay tribute to the creative process. In total, we have, I think, literally 250 books even. It's kind of crazy. It's a lot of books.